So nice to see so many of you out here as this special, incredible project gets launched this morning. I'm Brenda Maxey. I'm President and CEO at Tech. And honestly, I'm unsure why I was asked to speak today. Tech had a very small piece in putting this whole project together. Our primary responsibility for the project was to introduce our artist, Jerimiah, who is an artist that is served by Tech, to the Bush family as they were interested in commissioning a piece of artwork for this incredible project. The Bush family talked with, specifically Bob, talked with us about wanting a lion. So we talked to several of our artists and they all started painting lions. We had a variety of lions to look at. All of them were different. But in the end, Bob went over and there was one lion in particular that stood out. And it was named the Rainbow Lion. The Rainbow Lion was created by Jerimiah. And Jerimiah and his family are here with us today. Could you all please stand and be recognized? This is Jeremiah's third piece that he's ever produced. So absolutely amazing work. The lion became larger than life, as you can see. And after the commissioned piece was finished, the Bush family had it reproduced onto a graphic, and Alice Jane Hayes agreed to allow that graphic to be installed on her building. Like many of you, everyone from Tech stood by the sidelines the past couple of days and watched this incredible piece of art come to life. The Bush family not only afforded our artist Jerimiah a huge opportunity to show off his talents, but they offered their generosity to the entire community. This entire project was solely funded by the Bush family. They have even set aside dollars to maintain this piece of art over the next 10 years. Tech is grateful for the small role we played in making the introduction of Jerimiah to the Bush family. And Bob and Ann, thank you for sharing your generous gift with the community and with the great city of Hutchinson. Please help me welcome Bob and Ann Bush to the podium.
Before we start thanking everybody that helped make this a reality, just a quick plug for arts in the community. We're obviously invested in community artwork, and we're hoping that by our donation that other members of the community also recognize the importance and what it does for civic pride and community involvement and encouragement of self-expression. So let this be a catalyst for everyone else.
So my part in this speech today is to try to keep it short, but there are a number of people we want to recognize, and that's a little bit hard because, like most projects of this, it kind of grew in scope. The best thing about this was that everybody came to it with a great heart, gave a lot of their time, and we did this entire project. We had one meeting of everybody. And we came here, we had lunch, we looked at that wall, and we talked about what we were going to do. And after that, we did everything with emails and phone calls and text messages, and I had a couple of coffees. So it just goes to show that you can do something like this. It isn't necessarily time intensive, and it's something that can be done in this community, and it can be any kind of an image that you like. Ann's absolutely right. We needed to have more of that in the community, but I want to first by starting off by thanking folks from the city I met with Mural originally and did a lot of work with Jim Sightnader in making sure that we had the correct approvals, the correct codes, we were in compliance with everything, and more importantly that we could do this as a private project without taxpayer dollars, and therefore didn't have to go to any sort of a city board, committee, group, or anything like that. This was basically a family project that we did with another family, Alice Jane Hayes and her boys, and again, they've been very gracious and worked with us very well to kind of bring this all together. The next group I really want to heap praise on is the tech staff. I want to specifically mention Dorinda. She did a wonderful daily job working with Jeremiah and putting this together and helping him out as well as the other ones. And let me just tell you that if you do like lions, Tech has about 4 other really nice lion semi-commissioned paintings that they'd love to show you, as well as all their other artwork, so that's a plug for them. And also the other thing is, when Ann and I talked about this, we agreed that we just bought the rights to put this up on the building, so Jeremiah can sell this through the Tech, this painting through postcards and also through Tech posters, and he'll be able to get additional revenue for his artwork directly to him through that. So if you like the image, you'd like to see that on a Christmas postcard, or you'd like to have that hanging someplace, definitely talk to Tech about that. But the Tech staff did a wonderful job. Brenda did a great job. She was the best CEO because she did what a good CEO does when there are good people on a project. She stayed out of my way, and I really appreciate that. A couple supportive emails and a couple of hugs in the hallway, and I was good to go. And really, you laugh, but sometimes my employees love it when I'm not there, and they do a wonderful job. Of course, we want to recognize Jeremiah. You know, wonderful work. He did a fantastic job. I'm just going to tell you real quick, it took forever because I'm a let's get it done today guy. And Ann and I started really working on this project in October of last year. So we've almost come full circle in a year. But every time I saw Jeremiah's painting, I kept thinking to myself, there's something here I really like. And it just continued to speak to me, and I showed it to Ann, and she says, that's really cool, it's very different. And so, again, a wonderful job to work with the Tech staff and also with the artists bringing that together for us. The final piece of the project, of course, actually the next to final piece of the project was Eric Steinley. Eric Steinley is our attorney. Eric, he's waving, okay. You'll notice I think he's the only person wearing a suit, so that's how you know he's an attorney. He's got business cards. I'm just kidding. But seriously, you know, with a project like this, we had to come up with an easement, a facade easement that we worked out with Alice Jane Hayes and her family. We also had to come up with an agreement with the artist himself and put that together so that, you know, how we were doing all this was very correct, and that we basically did it on the right. So if the building is sold in 2 years, we have the rights to that building for actually 5 years, not 10. That was one of the changes that we made kind of at the last minute. But, you know, so if it is sold to another person, that is something that we own, and we don't need to take that down. And of course, we expect to be here in 5 years looking beautiful. And Alice has already said that, you know, she's definitely going to come to us with first right of refusal if we want to keep this image up longer, if we want to do something newer, because 5 years is a long time, but it's also kind of a short period of time. The final group that has to be recognized, of course, is the Lowen Corporation. And they, a lot of them got involved kind of at the last minute. They didn't want me to mention any names because by the time you mention 3 names, there's 5, 6, 7. You don't want to hurt anybody. But I will tell you that, I'll put it to you this way. Their senior management team did a lot of the work themselves and did not assign it to a project to keep the costs down. So basically, senior management worked on this project really for free until we were at the point that we had the image, we had the size, we had everything that we need to go. And then only when it was time to actually start putting up the signage did they really start actually producing the sign, the graphic, and then putting up, did they actually start incurring costs. And that helped to keep costs down and reasonable so that our family could afford to do this for the community. So again, there's a bunch of Lowen people over there, and if you give them a good round of applause. The installers were over there too. I just want to give them a special shout out because they were in this wind up on the top of that building putting up basically big sheets of paper, and it was a job that I would not do for any amount of money, and so there's a lot of respect I have for them and a great job that they did. So that's really all that I wanted to say. So thank you very much. And again, it was a relatively small group for a project this size. You have to have a lot of bodies. There we go.
All right, thank you again, Bob and Ambush. Just an amazing addition to our beautiful downtown. I just also wanted to give a shout out to the tech art coaches who work with Jerimiah, as well as all of our artists over at the studio. Julie Black and Julian Strobe. I know Julie is here. Is Julie in here? There, if you guys could give a wave out. Thank you so much for the work that you both contributed as well, and for all of our tech artists, we greatly appreciate. Thank you all for coming out this morning. I know there's going to be photo ops available with Jeremy and the original. Don't try to rip it out of Bob's hands. People have already tried to do that. Man, he's not letting it go. So thank you all for being here. Have a good morning.